Ladies and gentlemen, the Mueller report is out. William Barr's press conference was fantastic, and President Trump fully cooperated with the Mueller report, with the Mueller probe. First of all, what Democrats and liberal media do not understand is that the investigation into whether or not the special counsel into whether or not President Trump purchased Facebook ads at the behest of Putin while simultaneously infiltrating the DNC servers was an investigation started by a dossier purchased by Madam Cyberhack and the Democratic Party, justified by a third-party tech firm that was outsourced by the Democratic Party in CrowdStrike. So we have a Steele dossier and a third-party tech firm, CrowdStrike, linked directly to Clinton's funding and directly to the Democratic National Committee's funding. Then you had an alleged conversation, really a setup, with Alexander Downer and George Papadopoulos. And Downer has direct links to the Clinton Foundation. Australian taxpayers gave $88 million to the Clinton Foundation because of Mr. Downer. Then you have a guy named Mifsud who allegedly told George Papadopoulos that he had dirt on Hillary. He has ties to British intelligence. Christopher Steele has ties to British intelligence, the guy who wrote the Steele dossier. And we know that Peter Strzok stated that we will stop Trump, that there was an insurance policy. We know that James Comey leaked classified memos to begin the investigation. We know that Andrew McCabe, his wife, received hundreds of thousands of dollars from Terry McAuliffe, not only a Democrat Virginia governor, but also known as Clinton's money man. We know that every single aspect of this investigation can be traced back to, why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask? So they are saying that, well, he didn't cooperate fully because that was one of the main themes of the press conference. Look, the guy cooperated with an investigation that should never have been commenced, that should never have been started. He cooperated fully. What do you want from the guy? Democrats are like, no, we're going to get him on obstruction. So all you hear about today on Twitter, because I'm not on Twitter, but you could just type in Mueller report, is obstruction. President Trump obstructed. Well, Mueller didn't find that. Mueller did not find that. They can spin it any way they want. But what took place was, it was an unlawful probe, and I explained that in my Federalist article below in the description and in the pinned comment. Comey, Strzok, and McCabe are going to be charged under the same legal statute they wanted to charge Trump on, except that they're the ones who conspired to defraud the United States government. And I explain in my article how Comey and McCabe and Strzok will be charged and indicted under the statute regarding people who conspire against the United States government to defraud the people and the U.S. government. But let's just read today. So it's already taking place. Like, they're so petulant. So they have nothing. There's no collusion. He didn't work with Russia. He never worked with Russia. I knew this for 2 years, and I was saying that it was not only nonsense and fabricated, gossip-fueled hysteria, Cold War, McCarthy-era hysteria. I was saying that it was always linked to Clinton, and I was right. For 2 years, ladies and gentlemen, this channel, my writing, I was right. I wrote in 2017, Debunking the Trump-Russia Myth. It is below in the pinned comment. The special counsel Robert Mueller said that his final report in the Russia investigation that President Trump was largely unsuccessful at obstruction of justice, but mostly because his advisors stopped him or refused to carry out his orders. Now, here's the thing. Mueller pointed out to Trump's efforts to end the FBI investigation into former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. That's not an obstruction of justice. That's not obstruction of justice, sorry. Michael Flynn had nothing to do with Trump-Russia collusion, and what they did was they tried to ensnare him, and I explained in my Federalist article, President Trump should pardon Michael Flynn. That's not obstruction of justice. Democrats are so petulant, and they don't get it. They don't understand. That is not obstruction of justice. A guy whose communications were already wiretapped, a guy whose calls and discussions with Sergei Kislyak were already reviewed. He gets a call from Andrew McCabe not to bring a lawyer, not to bring a lawyer. And then he's interviewed by Peter Strzok, the same Peter Strzok who interviews Hillary Clinton right after Bill Clinton meets with Loretta Lynch to speak about golf, Brexit, and grandchildren. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And he's then, initially, James Comey and Andrew McCabe and Peter Strzok all say he didn't lie. Then when they don't have anything on him, they suddenly reverse course and they say, well, he lied about something. Sanctions. He lied about sanctions. He had every right to speak about sanctions. What they do is they ask you, what did you have for breakfast last Thursday? What did you have for lunch, ladies and gentlemen, 2 Wednesdays ago? Do you remember? Well, if you don't remember, you're going to jail. That's the way the FBI works. They're petulant. You know what they got Papadopoulos on? Whether 1 month he contacted Mifsud. He alluded to not contacting Joseph Mifsud, and then they got him on lying to the FBI. He didn't have his calendar in front of him. That's not lying to the FBI about an investigation. That's simple. And then they got him on obstruction of justice. I'm reading his book. They got him on obstruction of justice. Why? Because he deleted his Facebook account. And then the woman, the attorney who got him, Jenny Rhee, who was the prosecuting attorney in his case, defended Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation in a court case. This is the objective Mueller team. All Democrats. 13 of 17 registered Democrats, 12 or 13 of 17 registered Democrats, one of whom got the Steele dossier, and then another person who wasn't registered got the Steele dossier before even the election. Got to look at the Steele dossier. The whole thing was, and then one of the guys who set up Papadopoulos got fired, Kevin Kleinsmith. There are so many other FBI agents that are being investigated by the Office of Professional Responsibility within the FBI that Christopher Wray alluded to in testimony. But then they say, well, he obstructed justice because he wanted to fire Mueller. He could have fired Mueller, and that would not have been obstruction of justice. It would have been his right to do so. You can't obstruct justice. You can't obstruct justice on a fabricated investigation. And ladies and gentlemen, there's no better band that could, right here. There's no better band than Slayer to kind of, well, there are other bands too, to kind of just explain what's going on today. The madness of today. But they try to get Trump on obstruction of justice on a probe that was illegally begun. It should never have started, this probe. The probe should never have started, number one. And number two, you can't obstruct justice in an investigation, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot obstruct justice within an investigation that was started by the leaking of classified memos, and I explained that in my Federalist article. The investigation was started by a Steele dossier purchased by Clinton, by a ridiculous conversation. Even the New York Times tried to make it this cloak and dagger, this mythology started by drinks, started with the drinks. Yeah, that's a problem. And they're not trying to get him on obstruction of justice because he had every single right. He had every single right to fire Mueller. Mueller was part of the executive branch. Rod Rosenstein had no justification. Even they were talking, look, the Democratic Party completely duped Jeff Sessions. He froze out of fear, and what he did was recuse himself. He didn't need to. Because Andrew McCabe said, I'm going to start an investigation into you for your discussion with Sergei Kislyak. And almost certainly Sergei Kislyak was part of this whole thing. But Mueller pointed to the special counsel, and then he goes 400-page redacted report. Comey declined Trump's call to let go of the investigation to Flynn. So what? Flynn had nothing to do with Russia collusion. Look, all of this is under the guise of, gosh, we have to find out. We have to find out. That's the hilarious part. Then they're like, Ezra Klein of Vox. Barr said this morning that Trump fully cooperated with the investigation. That's an outright lie, and Barr knew it. This is the mind of a liberal. This is the you could talk about who is that? Was it Paul Krugman or who was it? No, I forgot his name. He wrote The Heart and the Mind of a Liberal. Like it was supposed to be this great book about how they truly believe that their unlawful investigation should have been followed without any pushback at all. They truly believe that their investigation started that was unlawful to begin with, that if Trump pushed back in any way, shape, or form, then that's an example of him breaking the law. But you can't have obstruction of justice, number one, if there's no crime. There was no crime said to have been committed. He did not. I always used to use this hilarious analogy. He didn't write a check to Russian hackers as fluids were being rained down upon him. That never happened. And then on Twitter, you just, click on, okay, so. And though they're calling William Barr a political hack and Attorney General's clothing, it's hilarious. They're having another temper tantrum. William Barr, quote, the White House fully cooperated with the special counsel's investigation, providing utter access to campaign. And yeah, what, 1 million documents for what, though? Now it's the big payback. The big payback. William Barr sounds like a slightly more well-spoken Fox News pundit. Good. If Fox News happens to be right, he's right. Oh, there's one neurologist whose name has the same name. It's hilarious. Justin Swalwell calls for General William Barr to resign. Good luck with that. He has proved that he's an embedded Trump ally. Yeah, he is. If for once in Swalwell's life, he got something right. He actually isn't a Trump ally. You want to know why? Because just like Attorney General Loretta Lynch met with Bill Clinton to speak about golf, Brexit, and grandchildren, William Barr is now going to work for the Trump administration, just like President Obama's officials not only worked for him, but for the Democratic Party and for Clinton. And then they're like, oh, why isn't William Barr wearing a MAGA hat? They're melting. We're melting. What an incredibly dark moment for the Department of Justice. No, the golf, Brexit, and grandchildren was a good moment. Barr's address this morning was not legal analysis, it was pure propaganda. I love it. Let them melt. Let them stew in their own juices, their own petulant, pathetic, angry, vile, Jacob Javits Sender tears. They're still traumatized. They lost. And by the way, Hillary Clinton's running again, and they'll just be swept right back up into the groupthink. It'll be fantastic. Russians didn't have the knowing assistance of any Americans while interfering in the 2016 election. They're actually protecting Facebook there. because it's Facebook and Twitter who helped Russia, not anyone else. Mueller found Russia did interfere in the election, Barr said. Yeah, Mueller found Russia did interfere in the election with what? He couldn't quantify one thing. Not one Facebook ad was mentioned as interfering. How so? The whole thing is a farce, a complete farce. And they are so upset, it's hilarious. It is hilarious. William Barr should be impeached. You know, they don't care. Now it's like, say what you want, I don't care. Before it was, all right, do you love me? This is Sessions. Do you love me? Do you care about me? Pelosi, did I upset you? Well, if I did, I'm going to write you a love letter and explain how sorry I am. Anything you want to do. I got Rosenstein there. He's going to start a special counsel, yeah. We can leak a lot of information. Oh, yeah, we won't give anybody anything in terms of... And Huber, that's a good one. We'll just have him do nothing. And we'll have a little message board say, LMNOP, trust us. Yeah. A bunch of 60 and 50-year-olds will believe us. Yeah. It'll be around the world. LMNOP, LMNOP. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Trust me. Oh, my God. If after today, if there's any more confirmation that Trump finally has his attorney general, President Trump finally has an attorney general, and they are going out of control. They are melting in terms of their hatred and anger for Barr. The Democrats can't stand Barr. They loved Sessions. They thought Sessions was a great attorney general. Why is that? Ask yourself that. Anyway, analysis. William Barr did exactly what his critics fear again. Washington Post. Barr's defense of Trump rewards the president with an attorney general he wanted. Good. This is the New York Times. Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. What Barr did here is beyond disgusting and shameful. I mean, it's like Twitter is just melting down. Oh, this is hilarious. How can William Barr still claim a neutral actor when he's clearly not? I love Democrats and liberals are like, he's not a neutral actor. He didn't do exactly what we wanted. If he doesn't do exactly what he wanted, he's not a neutral actor. This is hilarious. Give me your thoughts below. Share this everywhere. He didn't obstruct justice, and William Barr stated categorically that he cooperated fully with the probe. Sorry. Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing, Democrats. Now it's time for the big payback. Big payback. Now we're going to find out exactly why you investigated. Oh, yeah. Oh, and it's going to go to not only the top FBI agents that I speak about in my Federalist article, that when you type in Andrew McCabe and James Comey, that's like one of the top things you find. That is below in the pinned comment and in the description. Please share that everywhere. That article today needs to go viral. Andrew McCabe and Peter Strzok and James Comey should be charged under the same statute they tried to utilize against Trump. Share that Federalist article. It's below my Patreon link if you want to support my voice long term. It's in the pinned comment, and it's in the description. Share that Federalist article everywhere. Today, please. That must go viral, the Federalist article that I wrote. But now the investigators are going to be investigated, which is what needs to happen. Sorry, you can't oust a president. Sorry, you lost on that too. Now we're going to find out why you investigated when you had a Steele dossier, you had a CrowdStrike assessment, you had all of these things linked to Clinton, and no evidence of a crime. Hit subscribe right now. Check out HA2A, my writing in the Jerusalem Post, the Daily Caller, and the Federalist below. great day. It's already great. President Trump fully cooperated. First of all, he should have fired Mueller anyway, but President Trump fully cooperated. Let all your liberal friends know. Thank you.